how's it going? This is Emal with Dune Serpents. Just got the new PRP Alpha seats in. Going to be breaking this into 3 different episodes. This episode is going to be a review of the seat. The next episode is going to be a Solar Motorsports seat bracket install, which I'll explain later in the video. And then the third episode will be me installing these in the Tacoma with a different type of brackets, because unfortunately the Solar Motorsports kit doesn't work with these Alpha buckets, and I'll explain why later. But for now, let's get into this review. I just got these in. It's a seat, sitting in a seat right now for display, so ignore the other seat behind it right now. It's beautiful. It looks so sweet. And I went with this color combination to match the interior of my Tacoma, and you'll see what that looks like in a little bit. It looks great. You can just see how well everything's flowing in here right now. The gray matches the gray in here. It just, man, these seats perfectly match. I'm glad I went with this color combo. It works out really well. I have a nice dark gray going around the armband here, and this is all in a Daytona vinyl finish, which is kind of like an artificial leather, but it's really nice. And it's all black stitching going around. And I know a lot of off-roaders are going to hate me for this, but I did a suede centerpiece here. I know suede is forbidden off-roading, but as you can see, I have a lot of cars that have suede in them, and I love it. And I'm just going to keep cleaning it. I don't care. It's really nice, and it'll grip me pretty well while I'm off-roading. So it's comfortable, but the color combination is sweet. It's a fiberglass shell. I'm going to keep this taped up. It's going in and out of the car right now for mocking. So I'm going to keep this wrapped up there. Another thing I'd like to point out, shout out to PRP. They had these seats delivered within 2 weeks. From the time I ordered and designed these to my front door, 2 weeks. That's really impressive, especially if you're in a rush, you got things to do, you're working on a serious build, and you need your seats fast. They are the company to go with. So that was impressive. I'm gonna be running a 5.3 chest harness. Got all your tie points here, going through into the harness bar, which will be connected to the cage. So this is the real deal. It's a little stiff, you know. I sat in here. It was, but you know, that's the point of this chair, is to protect you nice and tight. You want to feel everything when you're off-roading. It's not a suspension seat. It is a bucket, so it's going to be a little stiffer, but you're going to be feeling everything that your car feels. So it's more of a one with the car feel, so you don't really make too many mistakes. Suspension seats are definitely the way to go if you're going to be doing, you know, daily driving and off-roading, but this is going to be just a full-time pre-runner out there, so I went with these seats. And I like to feel everything that's going on. I got a good back for now, so I don't really need suspension seats, but I definitely like to feel if I make any mistakes and stuff like that whole one with the car feeling. Anyways, so the seat mounts. This is why I'm breaking it into 3 episodes. So this is the review. The next episode is the Solar Motorsports seat bracket install. Those do not work with PRP bucket seats. They only work with the suspension seats. They have a different side hole mounting pattern on here. They just don't line up, and these are a little too wide. But if you have PRP suspension seats, or I think other brands, you have to call Solo to make sure. The Solo Motorsports kit will work with those, but they won't work with these. So I already went and installed them on my seat sliders and everything, because I thought they were going to work. And I'm going to cover that in another video, because there's no install video on how to install those. And it was actually a little more difficult than I thought. So I'm going to make an install video on those. That way, if you ever get those brackets, it's going to be a breeze for you. Now that I have it figured out, it's actually a very easy install. But for me, it was a little difficult because I was kind of just like, you know, going at it without any instructions. But now I will be the instructions for you. So that's that. But I'm not going to be using those. If you want those, let me know. I am going to be using, it's a company called Planted. They make a OEM pattern aftermarket seat bracket, pretty much, a seat mount. So it's going to utilize my OEM bolts. So that's going to go in, and then I'm going to be having aluminum side panels to go into the seat here. It's all race spec. It's all approved for racing. I already went over all that with them. I forgot what they're called, like F something approved, but you know, I'm not good with that terminology, but it's the best of the best. They're a good company. I'm going to be getting those. I'm going to be doing install on those, definitely get more into detail on how they look and all that once I have them here. I'll have those in mid-January. They have to make them for me, but pretty much as far as I know, that's the only seat mount that'll work with this seat going into a 3rd gen Tacoma. If you're not familiar with Planted, a company you may be familiar with is 8 Runner Off-Road. They're the ones that sell Planted mounts, but I'm just getting it directly from the source. But 8 Runner Off-Road sells them as well. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing an install on those in January. The next video is going to come out in the next week or two for that. And this is just a review on the seat. And so far, it's not even in my car, 10 out of 10. Looks sweet. And another question you may have before I wrap up this video, you have these and then you have PRP Deltas and a carbon fiber shell. I wanted the carbon fiber so bad. I wanted to get it. I actually had it in my cart. I was going to get it and it was sweet, but the Deltas are significantly smaller. They are tiny. They're like to here. They're really small seats. So if you're a smaller person, you have a very small vehicle, you're gonna need the Deltas. But yeah, I would steer clear of those and get the PRP. I'm 6'3" myself. I weigh about 215 pounds and I fit just right in here. It's tight, it's very tight for me, but just right. But any bigger than me, like you need a wide seat, that's just a normal width. This fits me perfectly. And I would say if you're under like 5'7", 5'6", then you could get the Delta seats. But yeah, don't be fooled for that carbon fiber like I was. I almost made a serious mistake. Those seats are sweet, but there's no way I would have been able to fit in them. Got TJ, he's 6'4", about 210 pounds. You can see what he looks like sitting in this seat. I'm the same size as TJ. You can see it's a nice tight fit, but it works out. But it's a good thing we didn't get the Delta seats. Because this is, how does it feel?
It's actually not that bad.
Okay. I found it pretty tight, but maybe, yeah, see TJ picturing him racing a nice pre-runner. It's working out. There you go. Anyway, stay tuned. We'll go over all this. And thanks for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure to check out my new business, Off-Road Trucks and Parts, on Instagram. If you have any trucks you want to sell or any parts, OEM, aftermarket, off-road, all that, just DM me. Right now, all listings are free, so I will post it for you, and I appreciate your support. Thanks for tuning in.